Hello and welcome back to Airbrush Ways. I'm Jack. So the next thing we're going to do is fill up some paint. I've got the 4012 here, so the first thing is a few drops of 4012 in their Auto Air transparent black, and then with that I'm just going to put in a couple of drops. So now we've got 4012 paint, a couple of drops of the 4030 balancing clay, and what I'm going to do now is just mix them all up. This is the way we do this, or I do this. I mix it up with a brush, I make sure that we've got a good mix inside there, and then from there wash the brush out. And of course, like I've said to you before, the idea of this is inside there now, just in this piece behind the needle, is going to be a solution of 4012 reducer. I don't want to spray that straight away because that's what's going to come out first, and if you're doing your artwork you want paint out first. So I'm just going to spray out a little bit of that. I'm on about 30 psi at the moment, although I can use the MAC valve on the airbrush. This is the water HP, or I can use the MAC valve which is on the filter underneath the airbrush. So we know our light source is this way. We'll start with this one up at the top, and with the one at the top here, if you remember, we cut the stencil but we left this in. So what I'm going to do now is just place a magnet on there. The light's coming this way, so this piece at the back is going to be the darkest. So I'm going to put on the air, add the paint, and then just blow the air, remove this, blow the air, bend this back, which is why we just scored this without actually taking it off. That keeps this fairly clean. Now that's black, so that's no problem. So all I'm going to do now is, because we've got this flat surface, I'm just going to put in a little bit of shade. And all that's going to do is actually give you the idea that there is a surface there, rather than leaving it completely white, because then you wouldn't see it on the page. Okay, so that's our first one, and that's the pyramid shape, and it's a different way of doing this because I've actually left that on there and then pulled it back to get the second half. It doesn't matter if you overspray off this onto that because that's black anyway. That's got the shade in it. Okay, so then we move on to maybe this next one. So now we've got a square. What I'm going to do is, the light's coming this way, so this is going to be our darkest bit. So this is another way now of doing this, and the fact that I can just, remember you've got to keep checking that. Keep the air on. Just air now and let that dry. So that's the dark side. We'll leave that for a second, we'll go on to the circle. Now obviously this is what we did in the last video. The thing of this now is the fact that we've got this stencil out of paper spraying onto paper. So we've made this stencil, and bearing in mind we can do this with everything, this is our basic stencil cutouts, and using the stencil to airbrush. It can be done on a lot of things. Okay, it doesn't just have to be circles, cubes and pyramids. So with this circle now we're going to start at this far side. In fact, we'll just add, this is going to stop a lot of the overspray going under the stencil, and we just start so I'm just working like I did before, round in a circle, coming up to the edge, coming up to this edge. And of course it doesn't matter if you're painting on the stencil, because we just make a new one, or if it's the plastic, we clean it off, start again. Okay, so that's the sphere, the ball, and then we've got the cone. So the cone, obviously it's tighter up at that end, comes wider at this bottom, so we're going to go from there, bring these across, we're going to go from that edge and get your paint to run along the edge of the stencil. Paint's on, the air's on all the time, paint goes on and off, on and off. Just like we were doing our lines. Remember when we were practicing the lines? Well, the idea with the lines is it now helps us so that we're not painting or missing a bit, or going too far or not going far enough. Check the tip dry, just pinch, remove, okay, and get back into it. Okay, so those are those three done. What I'm going to do now is just take off this edge.
And here.
Now with this side I'm just going to shade in slightly, so we'll just hold that down. And with the top, again, just slightly at this end. Dry off. Remove these magnets. Take off the stencil. We now have our three shapes. It's flat paper, but when you look at these, we have the pyramid, the cube, the cone, the sphere, and they're all going to look like they're now got some shape and some volume to them. What we can do from here is, bearing in mind the light source is coming this way, what we can do then is move that tip dry. Just start here. It's just put a little bit of shade into these, and this is going to make them look a little bit like the sat. Okay, so we just added a little bit of shadow, not shade, on the side of these 4 images. The light's coming this way, the opposite side to the image is the darkest, and to make them look like they're actually sat on something, or the light is casting a shadow, we've just put a slight shadow on either side, on the side where the dark is, to cast a shadow of the image. Okay, so basically practice that, make yourself some stencils, fill out maybe another 10 sheets like this, do as much as you can. The more you practice, the better you're going to get. If you have any comments, if there's anything you'd like to know, leave a comment below this video. Give me a thumbs up. If you haven't already, please subscribe to this channel. My name's Jack, and I'll speak to you again. Thank you. Bye.